Saint John Baptist de la Salle, priest, founder of Brothers of the Christian Schools, April 7th. John Baptist's early life gave little indication that he was to become a great educator of poor children. Wealthy and aristocratic, he became a canon of Reims Cathedral and seemed destined for a career of comfortable advancement in the church. Then, in 1679, he was asked to help to open a free school for poor children. This request was put to him by a layman named Adrian Neal, who had opened such schools in Rouen. John Baptist soon found himself engrossed in what he had supposed would be merely an administrative task. He even took some teachers into the family home in order to train them better, whereupon most of the family decamped in horror at this intrusion of the unwashed. He took the teachers away, found them a rented house, gave all his money to charity, and resigned from being a cathedral canon. He planned an organization of religious but not priests dedicated to providing free Christian education. He and 12 teachers formed themselves into the Brothers of the Christian Schools, not to be confused with the later Irish Christian Brothers, and were soon opening new schools despite opposition from those running fee-paying Catholic schools. They needed a rule to be recognized as a religious congregation, and John Baptist composed one, setting the aim as achieving holiness through total dedication to teaching. He followed this with a series of books on what he saw as the principles of Catholic education. All that he wrote about education was based on the practice of his brothers. He encouraged whole class teaching, careful planning of the curriculum, and frequent testing, all modern concepts well ahead of his time. His more general observation on the Christian life stemmed from his own aristocratic background and would not have been seem appropriate to the poor to whom his teachings methods were directed, though he was equally in advance of his time in encouraging frequent communion. James II of England was exiled to France in 1688, and his Catholic Irish followers asked the brothers to educate their children. Some of these were older than those that they had previously taught, so they moved into secondary education. Opposition continued from clerics and lay schoolmasters in Paris, so John Baptist moved the congregation's headquarters to Rouen, where they opened a boarding school and later a reformatory, which went on to become their specialty. In 1714, John Baptist was forcibly elected superior general, but 3 years later he was allowed to move into semi-retirement, spending the next 5 years writing, meditating, and living very humbly according to what he saw as God's direct will. He died on Good Friday of 1719. His brothers were suppressed by the French Revolution, but enjoyed a massive revival in the 19th century and still work worldwide. John Baptist, finally canonized in 1900, was declared principal patron of all who teach young people by Pope Pius XII in 1950, an obvious choice based on his life and work. Saint John Baptist de la Salle, pray for us.